Hello and hello to the amazing, beautiful world out there. This is our Boss Ladies Summit for the amazing month of July 2024. And we've got amazing Loretta Remy with us already. Loretta Remy, how are you, my friend?
I am doing just fantastic. Trying to beat the heat here in Florida. We're having a record high heats. So I stay inside in the air conditioning.
Oh, there you go. It's freezing in Sydney right now. We're all freezing our butts off. It rained during our meetup yesterday, which was nuts. But it's so good to have you with us. And I was going to say it's absolutely incredible. We've got Christina Davey joining us shortly, which is very exciting. In fact, I'm going to bring in Christina right now. Christina Davey, how are you, my friend? What's going on, Christina?
I am still buzzing from yesterday. What a great meetup. Thank you so much, Edward, for organizing. I absolutely love it. So many people, familiar faces, new faces, so many stimulating conversations and collaborations as well. And of course, right after that, the singles meetup, which was buzzing as well. I love it. I'm still...
You've done well. And it looks like us three today. I just had a terrible thought. I just had this image for a moment. We're like a Fox or CNN panel talking about Joe Biden and his interview performance. So just for those around the world, I cannot look anywhere without Joe Biden stuff. Like my phone, my PC, Facebook, LinkedIn. I thought I'd just jump on Facebook just to chill out, and there's just Joe Biden stuff anywhere. So I just want to say, we won't talk about Joe Biden too much. So is that a good idea, Loretta? We'll stay off Joe Biden.
Yeah, let's stay away from politics, It's never a good thing.
I know, exactly. So, friends, so ladies and gentlemen across the world, thank you for joining our Boss Ladies Summit. We promise to stay out of politics and give you a break from reality. We're here to talk about legacy and empowerment today. And we've got Loretta Remy and Christina Davey with us today. They're amazing in this area, very, very top boss ladies when it comes to legacy and empowerment. And what we're going to look at is basically legacy, basically what we create and what we leave behind when, and also too, the second thing is how we share what we have with others and how we sort of spread the love. And I suppose, how do we create more boss ladies is the operative question. So without further ado, I'm just going to start. We'll start with Loretta. Loretta, great having you with us. Tell us all about what legacy and empowerment means to you.
So let's see. So empowerment, when I was younger, I thought that it was important to keep everything I knew close to the vest, not like share it and everything. I know it. Why shouldn't you know it? And that sort of thing. I realized as I started my working career and everything that if everybody knew it, then things would make the job easier and stuff. So I'm all about sharing, especially now as an entrepreneur, sharing with people to help them through. We've all had to, kind of find our ways and figure out our stuff. And it's hard enough just trying to do exactly what our business is, what our niche is, how to get our message out. But if we can help somebody with helpful apps or, things like that can, maybe make it a little easier for them to get to where they want to be, I'm absolutely all for it and stuff. Legacy, I think legacy is important in a lot of ways. And it's not just about like who, what you attain, like she was a millionaire and she developed this, great product or something like that, but also about what the person is inside and how you, use your self to make something better of the world, even if it's just a little piece or something. So I think that's what I feel, and that's what I want to give as my legacy is somebody who does good for others.
Incredible. And Lassie's watching as well, and Lassie had just sent me a WhatsApp saying they both have hospitality backgrounds. Why didn't I think of that, right? Thank you, Lassie, who's watching as well in the other room. Now, interestingly, I know Loretta and I go back many years. Loretta used to manage a lot of restaurants, used to work in hospitality. And I imagine you would have been a legendary boss to work for. Tell us honestly what it would be like being one of your employees. I could imagine you not being much of a Gordon Ramsay, but being more of a helper. What was your experience in those days?
I kind of started out like a Gordon Ramsay a little bit. And I think that comes with youth, as a young manager and everything. You want to do good. You want to show that you're tough and strong and everything.
Yeah.
But what I realized is that when people have a say in what they do and what happens, they tend to buy into it more and everything. So I would always give them not options, but I would let them develop different things and stuff. And I was like, this is the end goal and this is what I want to happen. However you decide you want to do it, then let's work on it. You let me know and we'll do it together. But one of my biggest things was, and one of my supervisors said to one of the girls one day, she goes, "You never want to get Loretta mad," she said. And she said, just make sure you're always prepared, because I hated to have like one of the restaurants not, stocked up and prepared for a busy day. And then all of a sudden I go to help them and I'm like running around getting straws and napkins or, stupid things like that. And it was like, no, we should have had this done. Yeah. So, yeah. So, but yeah, I like to give them input so that they can decide, how we set things up or what should go first and things like that, as long as it helps in the overall service of the customer or member or whatever.
Oh, there we go. And I would have loved to see you operate in the old days. I reckon, so you probably started off as female Gordon Ramsay and then you became a bit more of a balanced sort of character. Is that a fair comment?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. I want to see the female Gordon Ramsay. Perhaps for another time. There we go. For another time. There we go. Oh, love it. Round of applause to Loretta and friends across the world. Please connect with Loretta Remy on LinkedIn. And also to hit that like, share, and comment. Say hello. I am on LinkedIn now, keeping an eye on your comments. And we're going to bounce over to Christina Davey. Now, Christina Davey, we absolutely love your work. Christina Davey, we live in Sydney together. Loretta's from Florida. And Christina Davey is an amazing dating and relationship coach. And to give some context, last night we had a big meetup in Darling Harbour, Sydney. And Christina Davey ran this beautiful event last night, this dating event. Is there any gossip you can share, Christina? Who hooked up and all that?
Actually, I found out about the couple, but I'm not saying anything at all. I'm just zipping it. What happens at the Sydney Singles Social Drinks stays at the Sydney Social Drinks with Christina Davey.
Yeah.
And I'll take it with me until it becomes official. But anyway, it's great to do this meetup. And the only regret I have is that I haven't done it longer, a while ago. And I think it's in a way fitting really perfectly with the topic of today, because some of the things that I want to leave behind, are, inspiration, resourcefulness. And I think it's really important to be open to feedback as well. Teaching people to be open to feedback, because it's the only way how we can change things and improve if we become aware. So when it comes to my family, my kids, my clients, my friends, I think one thing that's, the one thing that I would like to leave behind is to understand how resourceful we can become, right? When you open our mind, right, we can find solution to the most difficult, challenges that we might face. And if it's one thing that I can leave to my son or to a client, is that one thing that, you can always find a solution. You can always find another way. You can always, let's take dating. Like if you keep repeating the same thing, right, you're not going to get what you want. But if you change, if you step into your resourcefulness and you change the way you're approaching, what you're doing, then you can have a different result. If you leave someone money, assets, they can lose it. But if they have resourcefulness, they can rebuild it. If you end the relationship, end the relationship, the same thing. You end the relationship, and some people get lost. I know myself, after the divorce, I felt, like I lost my identity and everything. But I wasn't resourceful at the time. I learned resourcefulness from someone else, and because I did, I realized, hold on a second, I can have the relationship that I want. I can rebuild. I can have a family. And with that, my brain start looking for actions that I needed to take.
And again, in my line of work, I know I'm a LinkedIn networking guy, but the majority of our clients are women, and I deal with death, divorce, new relationships, any relationships every day, right? And Christina and Davey and I talk off the record about this, right? Supporting each other. And I find it interesting. To me, I can imagine, if you don't mind me going here, when you had your divorce, you must have felt you had no legacy, and you must have been the opposite of the boss ladies topic. You must have felt like you had no legacy, and you must have been disempowered. If you don't mind, can you dig a little bit deeper on that one, if you don't mind me asking you that difficult question?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a fixed mindset at the time. So I thought, like, this is it, and there's no other way. So it was like I had to be with one man my whole life. And now that I'm not with this man, then who am I? Oh, I'm the single mom with a young kid in a foreign country. Nobody's going to want me. I failed with divorce. I'm not good enough. Right? I choose this man, so how can I trust my own choices? So I was completely disempowered because of my focus was on all the wrong things. But we have to really be aware that there's duality in everything. There's light, there's dark, there's sun, there's moon, there's good, there's bad. Right? Every situation, every person is not just one thing. We are many things. Right? You, Edward, you are a father. You are a marketer, you are a friend, you are a fantastic host.
LinkedIn addict.
Yeah. So you are so many things. So, but for me at the time when I went through the divorce, I felt like I was a wife, which I'm not. I thought I was really good at communicating. I thought I was a great, woman. And then I'm like, well, because I failed, because my divorce didn't work, that means none of these things I thought about myself are real.
Yeah. So I get it. So you had this, from a legacy point of view, you had this identity of yourself, like, I'm a mother, I'm this, I'm successful, I got this husband. And in a way, the house in your mind, the house of cards was knocked over, and it's like, hang on, I'm nothing. I've got no legacy. I'm disempowered. So I imagine there was this whole reconstruction effort of your identity.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was thinking the same way, like most people. I want to leave a house to my kid. I want to leave. I want to have this beautiful, loving, nurturing thing with, his father. And when that was no longer there, like, well, that's it. My whole legacy, everything is gone. How am I going to do this? So I was really scared. And I stayed in a disempowerment state for a long time. But what we need to understand, disempowerment, it's just an emotional state. That's what it is. And to move from there to there, it's really easy when you know how. Yeah. And if you can leave to your kids, the ability to stay resourceful, that applies to any area in your life: health, money, relationships. I don't know what else is there, but if I'm doing something, career, resourcefulness is the one thing. If you can inspire them to be resourceful, right? Inspire them through your own actions, then that's the most beautiful legacy, that you can leave behind you. And allow them to hit their head, and allow them to, go out there and practice and learn in the moment, and become even more empowered. The more things life throws at me, the more I'm like, whoa, I'm growing. I
Yeah.
am growing. Right
Mm.
now, I am developing and I'm dealing with another thing that's going to require more of me, more
Mm.
of me. So when I'm focused on that, I'm staying resourceful.
Yeah.
So imagine if we all of us would be able to do that in the most difficult
Mm.
times of our life, in a divorce, when we lose our business, when we face a difficult health issue. That's
Amazing.
yeah, that would be really good.
Oh, amazing. Good for Christina Davy. Christina Davy, incredible. A hard as nails, Aussie Romanian lady who doesn't mess around. Love your work. There we go. Amazing. I just want to say quick check in with our followers. Thank you for checking in. We've got Rao with us for Lisa. We've got Amy Hammond. If you can't just come in, like, share, comment, say hello, and connect with these powerful ladies over on LinkedIn. Now, big thank you, Christina. We're going to bounce back to the amazing Loretta Remy. Loretta Remy, I got to say, Christina Davy was throwing out. Basically, she threw out about 8 different plots for 8 different Netflix episodes. Like, we can really do some great work there, right? Which of the storylines would you turn into an Amazon Prime special, and who would you make starring? No, just kidding. What did you think of what Christina said, Loretta? A lot of good storyline there.
No, I love what she says and everything, because so many times people thinks like the legacy has to be money and a house and
Yeah.
things like that. And honestly, those most of the time children don't want that. After the loss of a parent or something, they want they want to know, like, your integrity and what you had done and what you accomplished as a just as a person. um and to, like you said, resourcefulness and everything. I mean, I love that. I love that you said that, because it's so true and everything. Don't what do they say? Don't give them fish to eat, but show them how to fish, something like that. I know I'm bumbling it a little bit,
Can I
but
jump in on that one?
yes.
Just to jump in, I saw this great meme on that one. It was like on Twitter X. It was like a right-wing capitalism meme. It says, don't give a man a fish, teach him how to fish, but then actually teach him how to buy the fish farm and get other people to fish for him, sell the fish at a profit. It just went in this whole funny capitalistic direction. Anyway,
Okay.
I know you'd appreciate that being Floridian.
I love that expansion. Don't just teach him how to fish, teach him how to grow a farm. Yes.
Yeah, and then hire people and do this, then buy a house. And it had this whole I'm trying to dig up this whole funny story building and that. Sorry, Loretta, I just had to say that.
No. I go back to a few months ago. I saw Hamilton on stage, and I had been wanting to watch it for years and everything, and it was just amazing and everything. But the fact that he grew up as an orphan, and he worked hard to work his way up, and all that he did and stuff, and that when after he died, his wife, to continue his legacy, started the first public orphanage in New York City. And so, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to, something like that to carry it on. For me, it would be something that I would like to see.
Yeah, incredible. I'm just thinking of Hamilton Orphanage. There you go. Is it Eliza Hamilton's Orphanage still around
Yes.
today? Is that it? There we go. Now, checking it out now looks very, very cool. Saw something on LinkedIn about it. There we go. Now, fascinating. Now, I was going to ask you, if you don't mind me digging there, Loretta, and just so you know, you've said this before publicly, and we appreciate it. So you've defeated a lot of things in life, including cancer. Not even cancer can kill you, right? And we have this running joke around Loretta. She's unkillable. Like, if you pull a gun on Loretta and pull the trigger, it won't go off, right? It's impossible to kill her, right? If you don't mind me going there again, apologies for me going there. I just want to ask you, if I can, when you were facing your death, right? And as someone who's faced death as well many times, when you were facing your death, what were you thinking about? Were you thinking about just surviving? Were you thinking about legacy? What were some of the thoughts coming through your mind in terms of empowerment and legacy in your possible final moments?
So I tend to be a very optimistic person, so I never went that far to the death aspect of it. I just took each hurdle as it came to me, and what we were going to do next and everything. Um, Afterwards, after I got out of it, if you want to say, and it'll be 15 years next
Oh,
month,
wow.
and so that they say after 15 years, things are pretty much, set for you and everything, and all is good. But after that, and then I saw it around me so much, and maybe because when you go through it, then you notice it even more. Uh, my big thing that I want to do soon is I want to start a foundation for breast cancer survivors.
Oh, wow.
More of like a support group, like a s- uh, self-care group type thing. Like my vision is, to get an old bus or van or something like that, and drive it to some of the, especially in our area, some of the lower income areas that might not be able to get to the big facilities here we have in the city, and just kind of help them and support them, not medically or anything, but give them hugs, and maybe help them find a wig, or show them how to get through this, you know as a group and everything. uh and so that's part of my legacy that I want to leave soon.
Oh, love it. And I suppose, and this is, I suppose, as Christina Davies said before, it's a whole duopoly. It's the dark and light. It was in a way your almost death that created this new direction for you, and I find it amazing.
Yeah.
And I want to ask if I can ask one more tricky question, if you don't mind. When you were, and my mum had cancer too, as you know, and she survived and all that. It's all good. But my mum went through it. I remember seeing my mum go a similar journey. When you were facing your death, right, which you're facing your death, and you defeated cancer, I imagine there would have been a lot of negative information around you, a lot of disempowering information, a lot of worry and fear. How did you push that all out and stay optimistic? Because, in all honesty, I'm not sure if I could in the similar position. I find it amazing how you stayed optimistic there. How did you stay optimistic in what could have been your final moments?
I think, like, right after my surgery and stuff, I did go through probably a period where I was a little depressed, because I was at home, trying to recuperate and everything. I wasn't doing my usual Loretta things, and keeping busy and being very social. And I was limited in what I could do. So, that was another thing that just kind of like held me back and stuff. Um, Once I got back to work and doing things, uh, definitely made a turnaround in my feelings and everything, because I knew that I had just overcame something that, a lot of people struggle with. And it was, there was people that were like, oh, be careful, don't do this and everything. And me, I'm like, no, I'm plowing through. I'm gonna do it and everything. um but there was a lot of people that were around me that supported me, and that was, that was a big help and stuff. So
Oh, incredible. I love it. I love how you empowered yourself and the legacy you're creating already. So I'll have to talk to Amy Hammond. She's been talking about that too. And oh, by the way, apologies from Amy Hammond. She couldn't make it today. Something came up last minute, but Amy Hammond sends lots of love. Appreciate you, Loretta. Also, Loretta, you are amazing. And again, like, share, comment, say hello, everyone, if you are tuning in live. Let's bounce over to amazing Christina Davey. Christina Davey, again, what are some of your amazing reactions to Loretta's compelling story?
I think to go to cancer is just in itself a really tough experience, right? Because you never know the outcome. You could do everything right, and then you still might not have the result that you want. And it's really forging you. A health issue like that is really forging you, and having the right support and having people who are empowering you on your worst days, right? Because let's just be honest, Loretta, you are optimistic, but no matter how optimistic we are at any time, right? We have a day when we wake up and we just feel like, I just want to quit, and I certainly felt like that during my divorce or during my toxic relationship after that. I felt like I just want to quit. I didn't feel, I would consider myself optimistic as an identity, but that doesn't mean I'm always optimistic.
Yeah,
right?
can I jump in there? Is that because, what was the emotion? Was it like you felt like you couldn't do it? Did you feel like a failure? What was the emotion disempowering you?
So it wasn't just what I was feeling, which was betrayal, anger, let down, sad. I had rage, towards my ex-husband at the time, because I felt like he did this to me, blaming. There was a lot of blaming, right?
Yeah. I would. I'd be pissed.
But then what I was going through, actually, that I was just writing down so I don't forget when Loretta was talking, is I didn't have any more plans and goals. And the lack of plans and goals, the lack of a future vision, was actually what's creating even more, despair and fear. Because now, without something to look in the future and without visualizing myself being in a good place, I was living life from one day to another. And living life from one day to another, because I felt at the time, and this is one of the worst things you can do when you are in a health situation, difficult health situation, relationship, career, whatever, money, is I used to tell myself, I don't have the capacity for more. I don't have the capacity for more. I can only take life, like I can think at my life until tomorrow. And if I make it to tomorrow, then, and I'm going to make it to tomorrow. I'm going to make it to tomorrow. Optimistic. I'm going to make it to tomorrow. But there's no after tomorrow, So the lack of plans and goals was disempowering me, because I had no direction. The only thing that I had was thinking about the problem that I had and talking to my friends and family about the problem that I had and focusing on the problem. And the problem was becoming bigger and bigger, and I was perpetuating all these negative emotions.
If I can jump in there, and I've been here, was the rage motivating you? Was I'm like that too. I've had many times in my life where it's rage or vengeance that motivates me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we use anger to move away. And it's a coping mechanism. But the problem with anger, if we stay there, we become reactive.
Yeah.
So we become reactive to people. We become reactive to situations. And we actually do and take actions and say things that are not aligned with who we are.
Yeah. I wish you'd stop talking about me, Christina Davey, but please continue. Yeah. Leave me alone, Christina Davey, but please continue.
But I didn't have the awareness at the time to see that. So I was getting a lot of support. All right. I was talking about the problem, and I was piling up more anger and more anger, because we are all talking about our problems and no plans and no future. So I was getting a lot of support, but only to expand the problem. And I was getting validated also in expanding the problem, because everyone was like, "Oh, poor you, he did this to you." And
no wonder we get just sort of funny note. Loretta is a very optimistic and powerful lady. Christina Davey, no wonder we get along. You and I are identical. Like, I'm getting really nervous. So please continue. You're just describing me.
So because I was expanding the problem, now I was feeling, really righteous and also, I didn't realize at the time I was also judgmental, and I was going out on dates. I was going out on dates and being like, this is, and like pointing fingers at all the people around me.
They suck. Yeah, you suck. Yeah, I'm the victim and you're the problem. Yeah.
Exactly. And then wonder why I wasn't connecting with men.
I
don't know.
So you're running around. I've done the same thing. You're running around all angry and pissed off at the world, and then you're angry at the world for the world not loving you. Yeah, I used to do that. Great strategy.
So that's what I was, and I was not really getting feedback, on like what I was, because either people, I don't know, feel sorry for me, or maybe they didn't have the awareness either. And because I didn't get feedback, there was no contrast. So what I mean by that, if we just keep validating people in their pain, like I think validation for what people feel, it's important, right? We have to acknowledge what they're going through. But what was lacking, it was feedback about, hey, it's true, you are here, this is what's happening, but what do you want to do from here? Do you want to stay here? Because this is kind of, like from what I'm standing, it's not quite working out for you, right? Like, how is it working out for you? And someone to offer me that truth, that cold truth of like, you want to stay here or you want to move from here?
So just on that, so did a friend come in and break your disempowerment cycle and set you in the direction of empowerment? Did someone do that to you?
Somebody empowered me by doing things about, like by taking action herself. And she inspired me, and by having conversations with her, it brought awareness to me that, there's something I can do, right? Not just focusing on the problem, but there are things and solutions and people and resources I haven't accessed yet. Because in my world, everybody was supporting me, acknowledging my problem and being, your ex, it's a bastard, and you are, poor you, and including my mom. I love my mom. My mom is awesome. But like when she was saying, oh my God, Christina, you are so sorry for you. And I start rejecting that. I was like, Mom, I'm not a victim. When I start, coaching, I start, being exposed to programs, empowering programs, I start to become resourceful, and I start to see what I was doing. I start to notice, hold on a second, I am a victim here. And it was not pleasant, and it was very uncomfortable to realize I was a victim.
Yeah.
It hurt.
On that one, and I've done this as well, it can be very easy, to go from the victim to become the oppressor at the same time. Like, and I say this with tragedy, at times I've been very disempowered, and I've projected that disempowerment onto other people and other women, and I condemn myself for it. It's terrible. And I find you're right. Like, when we're in that disempowered state, it can be so easy to do the opposite. We're actually pulling people's legacy. So Christina Davey, amazing. I think you're going in an amazing direction. Very dark. And
so I had to come to the realizations that I really needed to learn how to empower myself first, because I was depending on others people's empowerment.
Yeah.
I was depending on them telling me you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And when I realized I was doing that, I was like, whoa, how am I going to be any different? Like, what's another way of doing this? And because of that resourceful question, I start learning. People came into my life, I was attracted to people who knew more than me. And, I was open to have conversations with them and invest in myself to be able to, move on. And that's why I'm saying that one of the biggest legacy that I'm trying to teach my son is to be independent, without being overly independent, teaching him interdependence as well. right? Like I can do it myself, but do I really want it? Can I, can I still receive support, right? Now, or ask for support? And being open for feedback, I think this is what's supporting us building legacy as well. Because if we're not open for feedback, we don't really understand how is it for the other person, or what is it that we are doing. And feedback sucks sometimes because you don't always get positive feedback. but that contrast, okay, if you sit with it, it will teach you something about yourself, something about your relationship, something about your situation that might allow you to shake off the status quo and move towards more of what you actually want. So when it comes to empowerment, empowering someone, I think be okay with giving feedback or receiving feedback, because we sometimes have to dissolve what is. It's alchemy. We have to dissolve what is, get to be shaken. Don't be afraid to be in this situation where you don't know who you are, because the only thing that happens in there is you are discomposing what was, breaking it down so you can be reborn. You are rebuilding a new identity, and sometimes it's hard to make the transition just from one to another. You gotta break what it is. Like, this is how I look at my divorce. I was asking for a certain type of relationship and I couldn't have it with this man. So that had to end. And it didn't have to go through pain, but I created pain because I didn't know how. I didn't have the skills, the resourcefulness to know how to dissolve that. So once that ended, I was ready to start a new beginning.
Ooh, amazing.
So I think it's important to really not beat yourself up for where you are if you are in a difficult time, because this is you ending one chapter and really getting ready to start a new one. And meanwhile, in the middle of all of this, you are forging a new identity for yourself.
Well said. Agree with Christina. Christina gave me incredible, love it. And I just realized Christina's hair color is similar to my Lacoste shirt. So there we go. And it's funny. Yeah, I got really insecure when you were talking then. So there you go. So I've been guilty of the same thing. So I love your rawness, Christina. You're incredible.
Thank you.
Now, my optimistic friend Loretta Remy, who was not as dark as Christina and me, can you bring some optimism back to our podcast? Because we need you. So please tell us what you think, Loretta, and take us back from the dark to the light.
Well, it's so funny because when Christina was talking, and I was kind of like thinking back like 15 years ago and everything, I realized what I did was, once I went through it, I didn't want to like dwell on it anymore. I wanted to just move forward. So I moved forward and kind of like, I didn't want to talk about it. I'm fine, I'm good. And I just wanted to keep going forward and everything. And somebody was talking to me, and we were talking, and somehow I brought it up, and they were like, I never knew that, Loretta. I've known you all these years and I didn't know this. And I said, well, it's not something I talk about. And they go, but it's part of your journey. It's part of your journey of what you are now and what you want to do going forward. And so that got me thinking and everything. So I kind of, that was, a few years ago. And last year I was sitting in a conference. No, 2 years ago, I was sitting in a conference, and they said, what is your biggest dream? What is something that you want to do before you leave this earth and everything? And that's when I came up with my foundation to help breast cancer survivors, as they're going through it, getting through it and everything. So they had somebody to hold their hand, to listen to them, maybe let them cry on your shoulder, to make them feel good. Because everybody wants to feel good. And just let them know that, in the end, everything's going to be okay and stuff. So that's how I want to bring optimism optimism to the world and everything, and help these people to feel good about themselves and feel good going through, sometimes, because sometimes it can be lonely and it's not always fun, and it's scary, and all those things, and people around you who want to support you, especially if they haven't gone through something like that. Like, I had two friends of mine that had gone through it. And so they gave me like the nitty gritty stuff that, more than it'll be okay. But they said, this is what's going to happen. And, like little pieces and everything. So I felt more, I don't want to say confident, but I felt more informed, like when these things came up and everything, how I was going to feel, how I was going to, different things, that because they had already told me about that. And those are the things that, just make you feel a little bit better. Like, oh yeah, she told me about this, but it's only going to be for a few days, or, this will happen, but I know it's going to be okay. And, so forth. So having people around you that, and nothing against like the doctors and everything, but to them, it's sort of just like a task on hand, you know what I mean? So sometimes they don't always have that true like empathy and sympathy and everything to go along with how you're feeling.
Yeah.
So, so they, letting people feel good, letting people know it's okay, and so forth, I think is something that will make, them feel better and make it an easier process to go through.
Yeah. So I guess the way you're saying this, if I can paraphrase, you're saying at one level, you're going to win and succeed, but at another level, you're going to have to deal with some problems in reality. So I love sort of how you're talking about two layers of beliefs almost. Yes, I'm going to win, but life is going to suck a little bit on the way. Is that a fair way of paraphrasing?
That's a very fair. Yeah, it's true and stuff. We want to think that, after you go through, like a divorce, like the next day, okay, it's all done, I'm feeling fine, but it's not like that, or go through a surgery and thinking the day after the surgery, everything's back to normal, when it's not, because, you have a recovery period. And I think a lot of times we all go through a recovery period, huh, Christina? Even with your divorce, you had a recovery period to go through to get you to propel forward and so forth. And I had the same with my surgery.
Oh, love it. And I just want to touch on legacy too with you, Loretta, as well. So I love how you've empowered yourself and you're moving forward. And this is the first I've heard about your legacy that you want to create, which is fantastic. The, breast cancer support, some type of community like that. I'm just going to ask you now you've said it publicly, I can say this to you. What are your next moves to get it going? What are you plotting? And if anyone's watching with lots of money, feel free to talk to Loretta and support her.
Yeah.
But now you brought it up, how are you kicking off this legacy? What are your next moves?
Well, definitely, probably the next moves, maybe by the end of the year and everything, is to get the nonprofit things started. So, there's, of course, with anything, there's a little bit of paperwork to do and, things to file with the government and everything to get that started. And then, see how, maybe I can do some collaborations with other people to get things rolling as far as my decked out van or whatever it is, bus or something to take it to the underserved communities. And show them and stuff, and maybe have somebody who can, a mentor or something who can like maybe help me to go through, what are the hurdles and bumps and everything to go through getting a 401c, which is the nonprofit sector and everything, 401c, and see how they can help me and stuff.
Incredible. And I love what you're doing. I think this is a great example of what you're saying is that with your legacy, you have an idea. You've jumped on a live stream and you're talking about, this is one of the biggest things that I've seen. If you, and this, I'm saying this to Loretta, Christina, anyone watching, if you have a legacy that you want to create, the best thing you can do is start publicly talking about it, because Loretta's now backed herself into a corner. Now she's, you know where I'm going, right? Now she's jumped on this live stream. It's going to be watched. It's being watched by thousands of people, and she's talked about her legacy. Everyone's going to fold their arms and go, "Oh yeah, so when's the band coming out? Where's the bus?" You know what I mean? So I've always found when you talk about what you want to create, especially publicly, it creates that social pressure, which then drives you. Is that a fair remark there, Loretta?
Well, and you're also manifesting. So who knows, one of these thousands of people that are sitting there watching saying, hey, I've got a bus you can use, or I know how you can do this, or I want to be a part of this, and so forth. And, you know, all of us jump in together and get this thing done.
There we go. So to our friends, if you're especially a Floridian, right, and you're here, reach out to Loretta and manifest this amazing direction. And I just say I love it. And just to give some, again, I don't want to talk about my mum too much, albeit she's awesome. My mum went through breast cancer as well. So totally, you know, I never had cancer, but as having a mum go through it, it's nuts. So I got to say, you're very hard to kill, Loretta. You're very hard to kill. There we go. I always say, if you can conquer the big C, you can conquer death in most situations.
Yeah, and I always, so my mom had breast cancer when she was older.
Oh, wow.
And then I had it. So, you know, I'm very adamant with my nieces and stuff, saying, you know, it's about being proactive on it and everything. Don't wait until you find the lump, but make sure you're getting checkups and everything on a regular basis, because that could make it, you know, make it a lot smaller of a problem if something should come up.
Yeah. Loretta, noble and powerful. Get up, Loretta. Loretta, love it. Amazing. And we've got Dan watching as well. Dan says, greetings from Overland Park, Kansas, USA. Good seeing you with us, Dan, and welcome to all our fans. Hit that like, share, comment. Oh, and also to Felisa. Sorry, I've been missing the comments. My bad. We have Felisa from earlier. Felisa Moffat, we love you. Felisa said this. When I hit rock bottom after being in a really bad relationship, my body shut down. After what caused it, I had to participate in my own rescue. Well said, Felisa. And Felisa, we absolutely love you. So if you're here, feel free to say hello, tell us your story. If I pick it up on the feed, I'll definitely go through it, which is amazing. So I just want to say a big thank you, Loretta. And we've got about 10 minutes left, and then we're all done. So I'm going to bounce back to Christina Davey, and we're going to start wrapping things up and getting some closing thoughts. So, Christina, starting with you, I'd love to ask you about some of your closing thoughts on legacy and empowerment. So what would you say to anyone watching to get more empowered and start building their legacy or even identifying it?
I want to start by acknowledging what Loretta was saying. And Loretta, I had no idea that you went through cancer. So thank you for sharing your journey. And, you know, how beautiful to take something so disempowering that has happened in your life and turn it into something, a source of empowerment for others and yourself, right? And one thing that we need to understand is that one closing thought I want to leave people with is that one person opinion is just that person opinion. Doctor, coach, boss, leader. When you are facing with something difficult, don't just listen to just one person. Go out there and do research in that specific area on that specific subject, you know, and expose yourself to information that can support you, and with the proximity of those who can support you and help you stay empowered. I think turning what happened to you, Loretta, into such a powerful incentive, you know, to do a greater good. It's just beautiful. And it's exactly what happened to me, Edward. And, you know, if you have told me 10 years ago that I'll be a breakup, dating, and relationship coach, I would have laughed at you. It has never crossed my mind, you know, like I when I was younger, I thought I would be a psychologist, but you never thought, you know, saw myself as a dating coach. But something that I want to leave everyone with is, take what happened to you and turn it into something that's going to continue to empower you and those around you, and keep yourself accountable for it by exposing yourself to the entourage, to the community that of people that have a similar legacy with you, which is, just a continuation or affirmation of what Loretta was saying earlier. So when you connect with those who have a similar legacy as you, similar interests, similar plans and goals, you create more. You create more legacy, you create more empowerment, you create a bigger impactful effect, right? In around you. So put yourself in a situation when you're going to be kept accountable for what you want to create, because it's supporting you achieving those goals. It's supporting you achieving, what outcome that you want in what situation, health, career, money, parenting. If you're a parent and you have struggling with your kids, by exposing yourself to people who are working with this, people who are facing similar situations, right, but in an empowerment space, that's going to support you stay resourceful, as I was saying earlier. So make sure you connect with those who have a similar journey and want to get to a similar goal as you.
Oh, love it. Love it. And I was thinking before, part of the legacy that you're creating of the people that you can't identify, you're helping people get together and start new lives with each other.
And I want to inspire people that no matter where you are at, okay, you can get what you want. Like you will get, like I had so many conversations last night on the singles meetup with women and men who, start to realize, oh, hold on a second, there is something I can do to speed up the process. And this is what I want to help. This is one of my mission. Do not let external factors dictate your love life.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not about them. It's about you you need to learn the skills. You need to get the awareness to understand what you need to change. And you can't, because if you look at life with these lenses, that's all you see. If you got the red, blue, green, purple, whatever lens is on, you need to really, have a conversation with someone that can help you take those lenses off so you can start seeing, things around you. You're opening your mind, to see things you've never saw before. And when you're able to do that, is when the environment, people around you will start to respond, in a way that you want and get the result that you want. So if I know how to create attraction, if I know how to create connection, if I have sound relationship skills that bring me closer, then I can have more intimate love in my life. But if I don't even know how that looks like, if I can't soften up because I'm hiding behind walls, if I'm lacking the confidence, if I'm seeing the same people in the same places all the time, yeah. So get out there and learn new skills. That's all I can say. I truly hope I can inspire people with my own story, just like Loretta is with her story about her, winning cancer over cancer, to tell them that I just really trust myself that no matter what happens in my love life or anything in my life, I will come on top, because I will always be prepared to learn something through the experience.
Oh, fantastic. Well, see, Christina Davey, just incredible, and love the legacy that you're creating and how you empower people. And a big thank you. And I'm just going to say to our fans, like, share, comment, say hello. We're going to finish off with closing thoughts from Loretta Remy. And Loretta, I'd love to hear your reactions to Christina. And please tell us your closing thoughts on creating legacy and empowerment for the future.
Oh, I love the words that Christina said. I feel that no matter what age, we can always learn new skills, and that every experience that we have, um, every experience that we have teaches us something. whether it's a positive thing, even the negative things that happen to us can teach us something. Somebody said to me once, a while ago, they said, "Oh, I bet you never wanted to go through that." And no, I didn't want to go through it, but not going through it wouldn't put me where I am right now. And it taught me a lot of things about self-care and taking care of oneself, and being proactive and wanting to support others. So it taught me a lot of those things that now gives me these ideas for my legacy and everything, because otherwise I would have just been, bumbling along doing whatever and stuff, and not, not having the purpose that I have now to want to help and support other people going through it, and knowing that, I can maybe, hopefully give them a little ray of light, a little ray of support and everything, to make their day or week a little better.
Oh, well said, and totally love it. And Loretta, thank you so very much. I got to say, I love where you're going and the power that you deliver.
Thank you.
Big thank you. Now, I think that brings us towards the ends of our Boss Ladies Summit. So I just want to say a big thank you. Now, just to our fans around the world, please like, share, comment, and also, too, make sure you connect with Christina, Davey, and Loretta Remy. Again, amazing. So I just want to say thank you, Loretta and Christina. I was just going to say, Christina, if there's anything you want to say, Loretta, anything you want to say before we finish, now we'd love to hear it.
I just want to say thank you so much, Edward, to you and Lassie, for creating this opportunity for us to express what we've been through, what we're thinking, what we're about, who we are, what we want to create. I love your mission. I love what you and Lassie are, creating every single day, and the support that I personally receive from you. I'm really grateful for everything that you do. So I just want to say a big thank you.
Yes. And these other ladies, Christina today, but the boss ladies we have, are really inspiring and, uplifting to me, just listening to them and stuff. So it's I hope that the audience enjoys what we're talking about and everything, but I'm inspired every time that I'm on the call.
Oh my God. It's
keeping it real.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, you two, and thank you to our followers around the world. Just want to wish you all the best. Please like, share, comment, connect with Loretta, Christina, and thank you, everyone. Appreciate you all, and stay awesome. Talk to you later.